Anxiety is a bully, and the more you let it push your dog around, the pushier it's going to get. Anxiety will show itself through the way your dog behaves. If you have a dog that is increasingly more aggressive, more needy, more skittish, then chances are you have a dog that is dealing with anxiety. One of the first things that needs to be done in order to help your dog get past its fear and its anxiety is to try to define the things that you and your dog are doing to keep that anxiety alive. Like I said earlier, those behaviors, that aggressiveness, that neediness, that skittishness, that is one way that your dog is actually keeping those fears and those anxieties alive in its thoughts. But what are you doing? Are you rewarding them for those behaviors? So if you have a dog that is showing its fear, that is shaking and nervous, and maybe it's a small dog and it's afraid because it's barking, are you loving it and coddling it and petting it and giving it a reward for its actions? Or maybe you're just simply ignoring its behavior. By ignoring a behavior, you're putting your stamp of approval on it. You're not telling your dog that it's unacceptable behavior. What you're doing is you're just ignoring it. And so your dog thinks that it's okay to continue with what it's doing. One of the best ways to eliminate fear is through a process of desensitization. So what desensitization is it is basically exposing your dog to the thing that it's afraid of until it gets used to that thing, until it realizes that it is not something that it needs to fear. So in order to describe this process of desensitization, I'm going to use an example of a dog that is afraid of human beings, of strangers. So if you have a dog that is afraid of humans, and let's say that it shows its fear through aggressiveness. Maybe it's bitten somebody, who knows, but it'll growl, it'll bark, and show that it is afraid of people. What you would do is begin at a level in which your dog's anxiety is manageable. So for instance, I would start with, a person, say at 10 feet away. Your dog doesn't notice somebody that is, let's say 12 feet away. But as they get closer, maybe they hit the 10 feet mark, your dog suddenly takes notice of that person. Your dog stops, closes its mouth, quits panting. Its body tenses. Maybe it'll lean forward on its front legs. Ears are up. It's their eyes become hard instead of the soft, relaxed look. They have a hard gaze. So now your dog is paying attention. But the person is still far enough away that your dog's anxiety is manageable. So your dog is not outrageous yet. You certainly don't want to begin at a point where your dog is already out of control, where it's already barking and growling and it can't hear you because its brain is already shut off, So you want to start at a distance, 10 feet, or whatever it is for your dog. So you would just have that person sit there. No talking, no eye contact with the dog, just stand there. And you would sit in this standoff until your dog begins to relax. So until its body begins to soften, its eyes start to soften, it begins panting again. Once your dog is fully relaxed, then you would reward them. Pet them calmly. Do not get them wound up again. Keep everything calm. You would pet them, maybe give them a treat reward, whatever. Also, a huge reward at this point would be to take the pressure of the person off of your dog. So, either you could walk away or that person would walk away. And that would be session 1. You would repeat this probably, a few times 2, 3, 4 times. And then you would begin having that person get closer and watching your dog. Because at 10 feet away, now your dog is not responding. It's okay, cool. That person's not going to do anything to me. Like they're still quite a distance away. So you would bring that person in closer and watch your dog. And the minute your dog takes notice again, that's where your new starting point is. And you just repeat the process. As the person gets closer, maybe you start adding vocalization. Maybe the person starts talking to you, never to the dog, not yet anyway. No eye contact to the dog, but maybe the person talks to you. So that's a new pressure. And when you introduce the vocalization, maybe you may actually have to have the person step a few feet away again and start from a further distance. But as you continue, as you move forward, the dog is going to become more and more comfortable with the person. This is desensitization. Your dog is no longer sensitive to the person being close, to the person talking. Soon the person can make eye contact. Then after that, maybe the person gives the dog a treat. But you have to be careful to only reward calmness, calmness of their mind, not just, of their body, not just the fact that they're not barking or they're not growling, but calmness of their mind. And, initially starting this out, at the very first session when that person is 10 feet away, maybe your dog might start growling. Maybe it might start barking. This I would correct. I would stop the barking and stop the growling and make them, even if they're nervous and anxious, make them just sit nervously and anxiously until they begin to calm down without growling and without barking. The big key to desensitization is finding the threshold at which your dog can manage its anxiety at the very beginning and at the beginning of each session. That is the first key. The second key is making sure that you progress and that you don't just stay at a point of where your dog is comfortable. So let's say that you're 3 or 4 sessions in and your dog is still reacting at 10 feet. Okay, so at the beginning of the session, you begin at that 10 feet. Your dog calms down. You reward them with a treat or with a pet. But this time I wouldn't reward them with the person walking away. If it's still reacting at the 10-foot point initially. Once it's calmed down, the reward, the treat, wait about a minute, and then have the person move in more closer, another foot or whatever. So this is, always be sure that you're progressing. Do not get stagnant with your dog. I'm Jessica Mashburn, the lady in OK Lady Canine Training.